Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the players representing China, LIN Shidong and kuaiman. Representing Japan, Maharu YOSHIMURA and Satsuki ODO.
The quarter-final stage of the mixed doubles competition at the 2025 ITTF World Table Tennis Championships Finals. Well, we have got ourselves a right old contest. Kuai and Lin against Odo and Yoshimura. A very tough prospect this. Those two, over this best-of-5 games doubles format, will fancy their chances against the top-ranked partnership in the world. Well, you've got to, haven't you? You've no choice but to fancy your chances against the likes of kuaiman and LIN Shidong. If you don't believe in yourself, you'll be packing your bags quicker than you can imagine. So what about Satsuki ODO and Maharu YOSHIMURA? They are an extremely effective partnership. The Japanese players who have really earned their place here with a great win against the Olympic silver medalists in the previous round. Babi Elmel is the umpire. Congratulations to him and all of the officials at these championships. And we'll hand over to that gentleman now for the toss of the coin.
Okay, we have the red and the black. Red, you will be black. You win. Receive. What do you want? This side. Who will serve? Who is going to serve? Why? Why serve?
Welcome everyone. It's wonderful to have your company at these championships. Right down there on the field of play at the moment, by the table, is Gavin Maguire. Well, Gavin, this is not a bad way to start the day, is it?
What a way to start the day, Ollie. And the crowd down here is just starting to fill up the arena. I know we're expecting our biggest crowd to date here on day 5. And we've got a great match on our hands. Satsuki ODO has been one of the breakout stars on the tour this season. And she's also one of the best doubles players in the world, she's proven this year. So, and it'll be interesting to see how her and the experienced Yoshimura can go against the world #1s, the #1 seeds, and a pair that just almost look like they're playing singles out there when they're in a doubles match. They have so much time and space.
Fascinating observation that actually about the illusion of time that is created as we look at the route that Odo and Yoshimura have taken. And this is the path of Kuai and Lin. Comfortable round of 16 victory. Before that, we saw a little reminder that Odo and Yoshimura managed to beat the silver medalists from the Olympiad, Lee Jong-sik and Kim Kam-yong of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. This is the World Championships, 2,000 points for winning the entire doubles competition. But it is more than just that, more than just the numbers. It's the place in history, the immortality, the intangible, never to be taken away from you title of champion of the world. You think by a 3/4 to 1/4 margin that the world #1 ranked partnership will be victorious. It's comprehensive, but it's not overwhelming when one considers that it's world #1 against world #21. Fraser Riley's alongside me. Fraser, this is one of those ones where we just want to kick back, relax, enjoy some cracking table tennis.
Get out your pen and pads, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a lesson in
Love
world-class table tennis.
Hey.
Welcome everyone, wonderful to have your company. I hope you're having a lovely week and that you're enjoying all of these fabulous matches at the ITTF World Table Tennis Championships Doha 2025.
One, all.
What are likely, Fraser, to be the keys to victory for those two if they perform the upset?
Well, they're two out-and-out aggressive players like kuaiman and LIN Shidong. Great shot there to the open space. They're just going to have to be, you know, as aggressive as possible. Take their chances with their attack, sniff out opportunities, make them count, and of course, try and vary the speed and spin as well. Disrupt the rhythm, because we know how LIN and KUAI are just unplayable when in fixed positions, when they know where the ball is going.
He's the outlier, that gentleman we just saw there, Maharu YOSHIMURA. He is by some way the oldest out there, 31. Odo is only just in her early 20s, same as LIN and KUAI. They are a fascinating partnership. Odo, one of the, as Gavin said at the start, one of the breakout sensations of the last 12 months. She had an outrageous 2024.
From feeder to finals, the Odyssey, incredible, winning on her champion's debut in Montpellier. What a story.
And he is a fascinating individual, Maharu YOSHIMURA. Like many in his wonderful country, he's a massive fan of golf, plays very enthusiastically. It's a very popular second sport for a lot of elite athletes, golf. But there's another side to him which is rather splendid. He is apparently, and one hopes we'll get to experience it one day, phenomenal at karaoke. An outrageously good singer, and he has a particular favourite band called One OK Rock. If you're familiar with their canon of work, Fraser, but their 2019 album, Eye of the Storm, is very popular, and it feels an appropriate title to think about when you're in the eye of the storm facing those two. What is it that makes LIN and KUAI so good?
For me, it's the smoothness. It's the seamlessness of kuaiman, the left-handed player, matched with the ferocity of LIN Shidong. The timing, you know, they're taking the ball right out in front each and every time. They're so stable, so engaged, loose in the right areas, tense in the right areas, and they're relentless. They, you know, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. Not dropping a game so far this entire event. Neither have these two. I mean, how they dispatched of the Olympic silver medalists, mind-boggling.
Phenomenal. And they made it look quite simple.
The pairing from Korea DPR, of course, that challenged Wang Chuqin and Sun Ying-sha in the final of Paris. What about these two? Could we be seeing them together in LA? I've just remembered, actually, the format's been changed to become mixed team. Something that'll be different in a few years.
What a great shot that was down the line of the table from YOSHIMURA. Very interesting, 7-6.
Beautiful backhand flick there. And Shidong was impressed with that because the serve had some backspin on it. Contacted it beautifully. And again, extra risk coming in inside the table there from YOSHIMURA, so flexible and fluid. kuaiman really struggling to deal with both. Kochesaya Ishikawa on his feet.
How intriguing. 8-7 now to the number 16 seeds.
I think the fans must have done their homework. I don't think that 70-30 was at all disillusional. Delusional.
Know what you meant.
All.
Well, we've got some very knowledgeable fans out there, and we're always delighted when you take part in the fan vote. It's lovely to hear your voice and to know what you think and how you're enjoying these championships. Well, now the, I won't quite say pendulum swings because it's more gentle, the momentum shift, than that, but back in favour of the number 1 seed. And we have seen so many times that they're brilliant at this particular portion of the game. Those high pressure points that they're so good at winning. 2-game points.
Odo looked slightly apologetic there in the direction of Maharu YOSHIMURA. Poor receiving the last point. This one wasn't bad, it was spinny, it was deep, but it was slow and fairly high trajectory. That was what allowed LIN Shidong to counter with the forehand.
The game so quickly is theirs. What a marvellous example of match management from these two composed youngsters.
Yeah, that was awesome in the end there, winning 3 points in a row at 8-all. Xiao Zhan, the Grand Slam champion coach, in the corner for them. He'll be happy with how they finished there.
11-8 in the opening game, 2 more required. One of the most enduring cliches in any racket sport, and it's an enduring cliche for a reason, is the notion of playing every single point on its own merits individually as though there's no score on the board. It's an easy thing to talk about, it's incredibly hard to do. It seems, Fraser, that LIN and KUAI have mastered at a young age how to do that.
Incredible how they can treat it like it's 0-0, even when it's 8-all. Old heads on young shoulders.
Do you believe it's trainable, or do you believe it's personality?
I believe the first third is trainable towards achieving mental composure, complete mental composure. I believe the other 2/3 are in a more, should we say, nature than nurture. You could just tell that Odo was a little bit shaken and stirred at 8-all. She popped up a float serve, was a little bit tense in the arm. The flick as well was a little bit, how do I say, not half-hearted, but didn't fully commit. But here, a good start from the Japanese duo.
Do you have times in training where you try to essentially replicate scoreboard pressure and say, okay, let's start a game here at 9-all, let's start a game from 9-4 down or something?
That's what the very, very best national teams are doing. They're simulating match-like scenarios. I think the Japanese women's team is very, very good at that. I feel as though that's something that the Korean women's team needs to try and do a little bit more of. You can tell how Kim and Shin at the moment are struggling when it gets to those later junctures of games.
Well, it's a very positive start from the Japanese pair. Immediately as KUAI and LIN hit back.
Unbelievable point here. Look at this fading shot from Satsuki ODO. That was after this looping backhand from LIN Shidong away from the table. You know, when you're smashing or attacking someone who's far back, you usually want to try and pin it into their backhand because your opponent's less likely to get a counter. LIN Shidong's the same on both sides.
Excellent play from Yoshimura. They're a nice partnership to watch. They seem, despite being at such different stages of their careers, to complement each other beautifully.
Yoshimura is a very well-respected player in Team China. He's a man who's beaten Ma Long before, former Japan Open finalist.
Oh, it's done it again. Similar shot.
He's flashy and he's classy. Someone who's had a bit of a resurgence within the Japanese national team. Still showing the likes of Haramoto and Tagami a trick or two.
He's got a real collection of honours at World Championship level. A gold, 3 silvers, 2 bronze. Nothing since a mixed doubles silver medal in 2019.
Was the gold with Kasumi Ishikawa in Dusseldorf in mixed doubles. Rings a bell anyway.
That's going to ring the ears.
Shovel serve from Odo had topspin. Not a good enough receive there from kuaiman. It was right into the waiting area of Maharu.
4 8-point lead, getting close
3,
to the
7.
crux of the game. Just to remind you, the Chinese partnership yet to lose a game at these
4,
championships.
7.
Established the lead, now it's a question of composure. Now it's a question of still treating yourselves like the underdogs despite being 3 ahead. Keeping that fight throughout. Oh, the flick of
7,
Yoshimura was
5.
world class. He was able to nullify the topspin on the reverse pendulum serve. That would have sent many players flying. LIN Shidong was able to telegraph. It was so deep on the table and had a little bit of residual topspin. Understandable that Odo struggled to make the forehand. Learns from her mistake there.
8, 5.
He's such a good server, Yoshimura. He really has an iconic reverse pendulum serve. Really handcuffs the opponent, especially in doubles.
Now,
5, 9.
this is the first time that KUAI and LIN have been taken to a game where they've lost 9 points at these entire championships. They've not been in a situation like this all week. That was phenomenal from
5,
Yoshimura.
10.
And they've got game points.
That really blurs the lines. He was not best placed to take that on. Whips it up the line.
Surely concession of a game is coming here for the #1 seeds. Hang on a moment.
5,
Hang on
11.
a moment. We've not had a
Game
situation like
2,
this at these
Yoshimura
World
and
Championships. KUAI and LIN have a game wrestled, not even wrestled, cleanly snatched away from them. 11-5. Gavin Maguire right down there by the side of the table. How has the atmosphere changed?
Well, it's gone a little bit quiet in here in the arena now. The Chinese fans didn't expect that one. They didn't see it coming. And I have to say, Ollie, I was really impressed with Satsuki Odo in that game. Really dealt with LIN Shidong. I no idea how she was able to keep him out of the game. She made his services, returns to kuaiman look simple. And nobody does that to LIN Shidong, so incredible from Satsuki Odo. And Yoshimura will be trying to get some tips off her now in the corner for the next game.
Thank you, Gavin. And indeed, that is the crucial thing now, isn't it, Fraser? It's building upon what they have done so effectively, not allowing LIN and KUAI the chance to come roaring back.
Odo has that about her, that bullish style. She's a big fan of MMA, actually. So, you know, she's quite the wrestler at the table. Physical, a pocket rocket. She's got that low centre of gravity. She can make hard attacks quite seamlessly and can recover quickly. The idea of being compact, paramount in table tennis, no matter your stature.
Way to serve. Love all.
Oh, thank you very much.
1.
Float serve, Odo instinctively puts that away with that backhand flick.
Yes, wonderfully. That is actually how Satsuki Odo chooses to relax on the plane, isn't it, when she's flying to events? She loves to just watch MMA fights on her phone. She actually went to Shitenoji High School in Osaka, which is an amazing sporting school. It's produced lots of Olympic medalists, including Yoriko Okamoto, who won a Taekwondo medal at the Sydney Games. So she has come from a school that understands fostering elite-level talent, and where she will have been exposed to martial arts from the moment she walked through the doors.
Yeah, she's a great character. She's had such a fast rise, and I think that her coach, Raisuke Sakamoto, deserves some credit as well with what he's been doing with her and Yokoi, Sakura Yokoi. World #1 in women's doubles, remember, Odo.
2, 3.
3 love advantage, now vulnerable. These two, the 2022 and 2023 World
Left.
Youth Champions, by the way.
2, 3.
Lin and KUAI. Bronze medalists at the last edition in 2023, the last time it was individual championships. So important they keep the scoreboard pressure on here.
Yoshimura possesses the deceptive qualities of an attacker. He's able to not give any clues with his form motion as to where he's going. He can break the wrist at the last second. That's proved really, really effective inside the table with the serve receive. And actually, from time to time, he'll take the ball a tad later with the forehand. Kuaiman's been struggling to tell where he's going to go. It'll be different now in this combination. The plan was there, half long serve, they'll probably brush this up. You've got to be ready to counter. Kuaiman really greasing that forehand. Seemed to hook that one a little bit more there. Maharu. Kuaiman just reminding herself to keep her posture. Make sure your body stays low. Don't come up with the trajectory of the ball.
Maharu is an unusual first name. It's a transliteration of Mahal in Tagalog. His mother is from the Philippines. It means beloved.
I never knew that. His brother, actually, Kazuhiro, is an incredibly good player as well. Just to talk a little bit more about the family affair.
Such a nervy, tight game, this. And I'm just talking about the crowd, because they are really feeling it.
There is a hubbub of nervousness here. He has struck that when the iron's hot.
7, 4.
He was far back there when he took that on Yoshimura. Absolutely clobbered it. Look at the transfer of weight there.
Just clips the net. Remember,
5, 7.
everyone, this is best of 5 in the doubles competition, not best of 7, as is the case for singles. So if the Japanese pair can see out this game, then everything becomes high stakes, hugely high stakes for KUAI and LIN. But they are still some way from doing that. It may only be 4 points, but we have seen how these #1 ranked players will fight at the end of a game.
6, 7.
There's a few shots in that rally that we can talk about, but I think the serve was so clever from LIN Shidong. Identical form motion, goes a little bit longer and floatier, and that gets a weaker receive out of Yoshimura, which allows Kuaiman to build upon.
Time out.
Timeout called at a huge point in this match. It is 1-1. It is 7-6 to Odo and Yoshimura. Vital counsel coming now from the corner. It's very interesting, the dynamic there. Actually, coach and Odo really comfortably letting Yoshimura himself lead the conversation. Good coaching that, when you stand back and let the athletes take charge of their own destiny, let them have agency.
Yoshimura is of a similar generation to Seiya Kishikawa. Kishikawa, the coach, now the head coach for the Japanese national team, taking over from Kunihito Tase.
6, 7.
So I can understand why Kishikawa was happy just to let Yoshimura put his 50 pence in.
Well, from 50 pence to if they manage to hold on and take this game, they'll feel like $1 million. These are the games that virtually nobody wins against those players, against KUAI and LIN. These tight games.
They floated them off in the last few rallies, serving with no spin. That philosophy of giving your opponents nothing to work with or against. He's on the floor!
He so nearly kept it alive too.
7.
Trying to channel his Timo ball there, LIN Shidong. He knew he wouldn't have time to get up, so he stayed seated. Can you imagine?
Down, but certainly not out yet.
Great feeling from Odo. That was amazing.
7. 9.
Stunning piece of recovery play. 2 points required to take this game.
She kept it so tight. That was brilliant control from Satsuki Odo.
This is a serve of enormous consequence for that player. Goodness me.
7.
3 game points.
Is today going to be the day of thrills and spills? Sounded like it hit the table, but it
10,
didn't. It
8.
hit, I think, the pocket of LIN Shidong. Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, hit LIN Shidong in the shorts.
2 game points remain. Now just
10,
1
9.
game point. How well they've done to save the first 2.
Just slowed down the pace, haven't they, Kuaiman and LIN Shidong?
All.
3 game points saved. Stunning.
Yoshimura went for the jugular. Just opened the body a little bit too much off that, but it was a decent receive.
Are we at the tipping point of the match?
10.
It's now game
11.
point to the #1 seeds. 3 game points not taken. 1 game point now that Odo and Yoshimura must save. It's seesawing back and forth. Oh, goodness,
11
what a point,
all.
and what drama. 11 all.
I was worried that Satsuki Odo would struggle to contain this. Yoshimura finding the forehand into that crossover, that transition zone of Kuaiman, just clipping the net on the way through.
And now we're back to game point
1.
for Odo and Yoshimura.
Wouldn't be a bad time for a timeout here. Just remember, they've already called it, the Japanese duo.
He's kept it alive. Oh, goodness me. That's a fabulous point, and it's a fabulous game from Odo and Yoshimura. They lead 2-1.
Sorry to be uncouth, but I am gobsmacked. What a rally. Oh my goodness, the defense. It was amazing. It carried on after 3 balls. Look how Yoshimura dealt with this on the pivot. Oh, poetry in motion.
There's a storm brewing. Change may be coming. 13-11 in game 3. One more required for an enormous upset. Gavin Maguire is right down there by the Japanese fans. Can you still hear yourself think, Gavin?
I can't hear anything anymore, Ollie. The noise levels have just gone up a notch here in the arena, and I'm very close to the Japanese national team and some of the Japanese fans, and they were off their feet for that last point in that game when the Japanese took it. I mean, we're seeing some incredible table tennis. I've said it already, but Satsuki Odo and her setup play, her receive of serve, mind-blowing.
Gavin might want to get his noise-cancelling headphones ready if Odo and Yoshimura can get this next game, because the roof will come off the place. But there are so many who have thought that they might be about to beat those two over the last little while, to find out that they were very, very much mistaken. KUAI and LIN have, after all, won over a dozen tour titles together.
Most recently, the Singapore Smash. Well, LIN Shidong won the men's singles, and kuaiman reached the women's singles final as well. Just want to say, it may seem like an elephant in the room, but that would have had such a bad psychological effect on Yoshimura and Odo if they wouldn't have been able to finish that game after having, what, 4 game points and then having to face one. You would have had to have classed that as a bottle. Completely different story though now.
For Odo and Yoshimura, every single point that they get now, even if it remains tight, even if it remains essentially level, or they're just slightly behind, every single point brings KUAI and LIN closer to the terminal point of the contest. The scoreboard pressure is absolutely with the Japanese if they can just get a good early sequence of points. And they've done it. 4-2 now.
It's mounting. It is really, really mounting. How on earth has Maharu Yoshimura managed to play the short side of the table? Oh my goodness, that's basically gone around the net. The backhand block of kuaiman was sublime. He is ecstatic. It's a good job we're a few rooms away from the Japanese commentary booth, Ollie. People on this feed would be hearing Japanese right now.
Now, timeout has been called by the Chinese pair. And they are in some trouble. The demeanour has changed. The body language is different. The score is threatening. We look back at that incredible shot from Yoshimura. It was stunning. The reach and the control. And the reaction.
Wow.
It's another of the cliches of racket sports, isn't it, Fraser? People say sometimes there are shots that you play that feel as good as winning 2 or 3 points. They're so dramatic and make you feel like $1 million.
The scar power, you know, leaving that memory in the opponent's mind. Such a good shot, it's almost impossible for your opponent to, you know, regain mental composure and presence. He said he eats nothing but sushi in an interview earlier on. How about table tennis balls? He's been striking the ball magnificently in this match. And I'll go right with what Gavin was touching upon earlier. Odo inside the table and at the back line's been amazing with him.
5-3.
Well, fishing for points at the moment, KUAI and LIN, and frankly finding it difficult. But this is a great test for two superb young players. They're not out of it yet. They will have known how difficult it was going to be. After all, Odo and Yoshimura beat the silver medalists from the last Olympic Games to get to this stage.
In straight games as well. Look at the deception on the Satsuki ODO serve. Kuaiman steps in for the flick, but there was so much topspin it kicked up, hence the top edge, missed contact. And again, the same again.
7.
Coach Xiao Zhang won't be happy with that. It's a grimace as well from LIN Shidong.
How rare one sees it. And how extraordinary this situation is. They're in big trouble. Only 3 points from elimination. The #1 seeds, the world #1 ranked partnership at the World Table Tennis Championships finals. Odo and Yoshimura are poised.
8.
Now
4.
it's about the composure that they can show. Can they get over the line?
On their World Championships debut together as a pair as well. This is unthinkable. Clutch there from LIN Shidong.
5.
Firing the backhand away from the table. Incredible shot. Satsuki ODO trying to abbreviate. A block down the line here. There it was, into that crossover section. I think he hit the top edge of his racket, but it didn't matter. He meant to go there.
What great movement from the youngsters.
6. 8.
They are holding on just about.
So dynamic. Dynamism from Yoshimura again. He just went a little bit too big on that forehand. Didn't need to go that hard. Well then.
7. 8.
Was it inevitable?
Can they level and change completely the dynamic? Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
All.
8-all in game #4. And now an enormous serve coming up for the Japanese pair, just to try to keep that narrow advantage, to restore it, having held it for so much of this game. And that, no,
Hit the net.
8. All.
just for a moment, the Japanese fans were roaring. Just for a moment, we thought they might have it. Oh! It's incredible!
It's a screamer from Yoshimura again. Kuaiman struggling to contain this shovel topspin kicker of Satsuki ODO. There it is, the upward thumb, topspin inbound. And what about that for a finish? Right off the angle, nobody home.
Look at the reaction of Odo, screamed into the ground.
And again!
8. 10.
2 match points. The Japanese squad on their feet. Odo and Yoshimura on the verge of history.
This is for at least a bronze medal.
A place in the semi-final. A chance to knock out the #1 ranked partnership in the world. Close,
9,
but not
10.
quite. Calmness urged by Yoshimura. We've still got one more, he seems to say. With the serve, the Chinese pair. It clips the net.
10.
The match points are saved. But in the last game, they still managed to take another one. Odo and Yoshimura, they had 3 game points in the previous, but 6 of the last 8 points have been won by those two. Now they have the serve. That is high quality from Odo. She
10,
raises a fist.
11.
They're about to raise the roof.
Will the third time be the charm? I couldn't help but think back to that pancake flip that Yoshimura tried at 10-9. He won't regret it if they can finish it here.
Let 10, 11.
Doha dreams for Odo and Yoshimura. The Dow boats carry them out into the waters, the destination, the harbour of the semi-final stage of the World Championships. They've beaten the world #1 ranked pair. They've caused the shock of the championships.
They're reeling it in, they can't believe it. I don't think we can either. It's a World Championship Classic. The Japanese duo on their World Championships debut have taken out the most dominant pairing on the planet. LIN Shidong and kuaiman hadn't dropped a game coming into this last 8 bout. They only got the one against these two. What a performance. That is a career-defining victory.
The emotion so clear to see. This gentleman is 31. He hasn't been on a World Championship podium since 2019. He's gone from the wilderness to the spotlight. Let's relive a moment where history was made. He looks to the heavens as she dropped to the floor. That's how you celebrate. And we have to say as well, commiserations to KUAI and LIN, because they've come into these championships with an enormous amount of pressure, Anytime you are the world #1 ranked partnership, everyone out there is wanting to beat you. Everyone dreams of a victory like this. And they are 2 youngsters, 20 and 21, LIN and KUAI. But for now, we focus on the tears of joy, not the tears of sorrow. Odo and Yoshimura victorious 3 games to 1 in 37 minutes over the world #1 ranked partnership. It is the stuff of fantasy that has just become the stuff of reality.